Bitcoin has been on a rampage this past weekend, most likely due to the president and the House agreeing on increasing the amount of money that will be included in the next stimulus check. Today, we'll be talking about what this next bill entails and what it means for Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Let's get into it. In terms of the stimulus checks, about $600 is going to be given to anyone making under $75,000 a year, and the bill that Trump and the House just agreed on is called the Cash Act, which agrees to raise the amount of stimulus from $600 a check to $2,000 a check per person. Now, that sounds great, of course. However, that isn't the end. We're waiting on the Senate to maybe approve or deny that same bill. Keep in mind that Senate is majority Republican, so the chances of that happening are next to none. But we can still keep our hopes up high, especially if you are going to be one of the people receiving one of these checks. So the first round of stimulus checks were released around the week of April 13th. About 80 million stimulus checks were released to the public. Bitcoin was worth around $6,704 and had just recovered from a huge dump back in March. And literally just about a month later, again, after about 80 million of those stimulus checks came through and were continuing to come through, Bitcoin pumped about 27% from $6,700 all the way up to $9,200. So we could potentially say that maybe all those stimulus checks coming into play could have helped pump up the price a little bit. And you may be saying, you have no way to prove that. However, I kind of do. So at the same time, Coinbase had saw an increase in $1,200 deposits right around the same time by quadruple the amount. Mind you, in terms of percentages, that was about 0.1% to 0.4% of the deposits were about $1,200. So not exactly, a huge increase if you're looking at it from that perspective, but that doesn't mean that people didn't put in maybe half of the stimulus check, or maybe a quarter, or maybe even a third, right? It just means that that's how many that fully put in $1,200. And lastly, of course, if you had actually been one of the people who received that first stimulus check and you bought Bitcoin with it, you would be up essentially around $3,800 right now. So that $1,200 stimulus check would have turned into right around $5,000. So it's pretty clear that if you don't really need the money now, maybe it's worth putting it away and having it grow for you. Now, even if this next stimulus check is only $600, I can still see a lot of people putting it into Bitcoin. Honestly, more people putting it into Bitcoin. Why, you ask? Well, throughout these last couple months, a lot of people have had the time to do more research. They've been at home all this time to look at more about investing, stocks, crypto, precious metals. A lot more people are into investing now. And it's no surprise to me that a lot of the people who are getting these checks probably don't need it. I might be ruffling some feathers there, but it's true. A lot of these people who got checks, if you're able to put it away for savings, or if you're able to buy a commodity or a stock with it, then you don't actually need it. Okay, so let's assume the impossible happens and the Senate approves the $2,000 checks. In this case, I honestly think that a lot more people are still going to put it into Bitcoin, but even more so, a lot of these smaller altcoins and cryptos, I'm almost positive, are going to be pumping. Why? Mainly just because, again, a lot of people did their research on crypto, mainly Bitcoin, of course. And again, everyone knows Bitcoin is kind of like that gateway drug, You first learn about Bitcoin, then you start learning about all the other ones, Ethereum, XRP, especially XRP with all the stuff going on with that, And people know that, obviously, Bitcoin, as risky as it may be to some people, at least they think, the altcoins are a lot riskier. So obviously, if you have more money, you're willing to risk a little bit more of that. And I think that since last time the actual market capitalization of Bitcoin went up, I think this time it might be the inverse, only just because Bitcoin has recently been shooting up like crazy, and I think a lot of people are going to buy into the hype, as usual. But again, Bitcoin is that gateway crypto, and a lot more people are going to be introducing themselves to different smaller currencies, not only on Coinbase and Gemini, but also on these other different exchanges, again, assuming that we're even allowed to use them since we're in the US. Now let's go ahead and make an assumption here. About $550 billion worth of stimulus checks are going to be going out this next round. The current market cap for Bitcoin is about $500 billion. Imagine 25% of those stimulus checks going out and being put into Bitcoin or crypto in general. Well, that would give Bitcoin a market cap of right around $625 billion, making the price of Bitcoin, or the price per coin, right around $32,000. Is it possible? I think it 100% is. Not to say that I think 25% of the people who get stimulus checks will put it into Bitcoin. However, I do think that a lot of people will put it into Bitcoin in general, and because of it, a lot more of the masses are going to buy into it, knowing that they're going to be expecting a pump. And a lot of people who aren't experienced with crypto or trading just tend to buy into the pumps. And so that's why you get these huge run-ups like Bitcoin did when it went from $20,000 to 28, literally in less than a week. With all that being said, at the end of the day, the government is just going to keep on printing more money. I think that people are finally starting to catch on to that. And personally, if I get this next check, I'm most likely just going to throw it in one of my top 3 crypto picks for 2021. And if you haven't seen that video, you can go ahead and take a look at it above or below. Thank you guys for watching. Give your boy a like down below if you appreciated the content. If you want to see more videos on crypto, go ahead and watch my other videos, or subscribe or follow me down below. And let's catch you guys in the next one. Let's hope that they release these $2,000 checks. I don't know what the hell that was. I'll see you guys next time.